Ellie is almost 5. Well, you're 5. This is your 5th month.
Yes, I'm a little over 5 months now.
Okay.
Because, yeah, I think it was like January 13th or something like that when I.
We'll be up 5 months.
Yeah.
January. So Ellie's now. So we'll round it off. 5 months into being a realtor, and so what I wanted Ellie to do today as a topic is talk about how her expectations from say 5 months prior to becoming a realtor, which was pretty much when you first started kind of shadowing me.
Yep.
Roughly to 5 months now post getting your license. So kind of give us the I guess your expectations pre-licensing, and then give us the 5 month mark of what you've experienced so far post-licensing, the good, the bad, anything in between.
So looking back on it, it should the way it is should be exactly how I expected, but it's not. Because obviously, you have different expectations based on TV or even Instagram. If you follow different realtors on Instagram, things look very different than they are. Also considering a lot of the realtors I follow are in California, and obviously that's a different world. But so I expected it to be similar to how it is as far as what I do day to day. Making calls, cold calling people and whatnot. I expected myself to be a little busier though. I just kind of thought, well, I'll just I'll call people and I'll get leads and I'll go forward from there. If I'm calling 20 people a week, I've got to be showing a lot of homes and selling a lot, right? No. So I've haven't been that busy at all. I mean, I'm busy making calls every night. I probably spend about 20 to 30 hours a week doing real estate related stuff, but so far it's really just investing in people and investing in myself, and not so much out showing homes and doing closings and making contracts and all the stuff that I thought I was going to be doing 5 months in. But I mean, it's good. It's not as, I was a little intimidated at first. I thought it was going to be harder than it is as far as, I guess, complications. I thought it was going to be more complicated than it is, and so far it's not too bad. But I also have, you to help me out whenever I have any questions and whatnot. It'd be a little scarier if I was alone.
Well, so a couple things I want to ask you. So you kind of hit the nail on the head. It is, real estate's very easy to get your license. There's not like you don't have to go to college. To be honest, the test is easy. The hardest part is just sitting down for the course, which is 75 hours. But overall, it's a very easy barrier of entry to get in as a realtor. And real estate itself is not complicated, meaning start to finish is not complicated. X and O's, 8-step A, B, C, D. Obviously, there's a lot of nuances and things you have to understand within the business, but at the end of the day, contracts and laws and how that all works out is pretty black and white. The hard part, as with anything, and especially in real estate, is you're dealing with people. Mm-hmm. So I think that in order to really be a great realtor, you have to understand people. You have to understand human psychology. I find that my levels of relationships to people, meaning I'm really adaptable when it comes to the person, meaning I can have a conversation with, person A, person B, and person C, and they are 3 different personality types. They are 3 different, some I got to use a little bit more, care and caution with. Some would just want it straight. Some are long-winded. Some are very quick and to the point, and you adapt to all these things. And what I am able to find is that by understanding people, by building relationships, by, I guess, promoting myself and my successes and my involvement within the real estate field and also within the local business scene, I'm able to, build up, basically people that want to work with me because they see the value in what I can bring. But as I was telling you from the start, this is my 9th year, and my beginnings were much like yourself, meaning I would contact 1 or 2 people a day, and I just kind of sat there and was like, okay, well, when are the offers going to come? When do people want to look at homes? When is somebody going to call me to list the property? And, I think I try, and I'm sure you can vouch for this, and anybody that's coming on the team, is that I'm extremely realistic when I'm talking with people, where, like you said, you had this kind of this world that you were going to jump into,
Yeah.
and we were HD TVing it and $1 million listings and all this stuff, and at the end of the day, people got to realize that real estate's tough to break into, and even those people you see on the TV shows, they're not brand new agents. They've been doing it for a while, and I find that I'm just now to the point where I really have a good handle, I believe, on real estate, and that's 9 years in, and I think hopefully with me allowing you not to have as much screw ups as me, and the learning curve that you can maybe do what I'm doing in half the time, which would be phenomenal. But it's still, as I tell everybody that's coming on, you have to commit for 3 years, meaning like you 5 months in, it's not, hey, I should be, I'm like, nope, you're right where you should be at 5 months in. And I think at this point in time, you are just establishing yourself as an agent, you're getting your name out there, you're meeting people, you're establishing relationships. I'm very big on every person I talk to, to me is a future client. Yeah. Every person I talk to, meaning it could be somebody. This has happened before, and I kind of love it because I use it as kind of like a mini goal or like a mini project that I want to take on, is the sense that I might meet somebody that I know is totally going to use another realtor, and then over time, that wall slowly breaks down, and then they start leaning more towards me.
Yeah.
And I've done that plenty of times, and not to the point where I'm like, I want to take someone's client, because they're not anybody's client at that point. But at the end of the day, it's like it's another, like, to me, it's a validation that my follow up is phenomenal. Meaning, it's like you're working with an agent. That so to me, those are some of the times where I just, because of follow up, I can get back in the game and eventually, get that client. Or I've had clients too that use different agents because it's their friends or whatever the case is, but they really like how I act and I carry myself and conduct business, and they say, hey, if there's anything I can do to help you out, let me know. And maybe they didn't buy a home through me. Maybe this was a few years prior. Maybe they have no intention of ever building, or they want to build, or they have no intention of selling. I've had some of those too, which is cool, because at that point, basically they're endorsing you without, they're endorsing you at that point, which is pretty cool. And I think for you, you're really starting the beginnings of that, meaning you're, no offense, nobody's endorsing Ellie Gent Realtor yet, because you haven't done anything, and you haven't.
Me, Brittany.
and your friends and family and stuff, but it's different too. You don't live around here, or I say live around here, you do, but
I didn't grow up around here.
Yeah, your family doesn't, and I think over time you will get your name out there, and we've talked about this before. You try to have good relationships with other realtors, because majority of the realtors I've dealt with more than once, and I will continue, especially the ones that are super active. I will be doing multiple times a year, and I want to have a good relationship with them also, and I try very hard to keep those relationships as solid as I would with my clients. And I think that's the thing for you is, right now you're laying the groundwork, and I think one of the I have it. It's a quote over on my desk. I forgot the exact thing, but basically it's kind of like a Rome wasn't built in a day type thing. But it's something about building. I think it was something like building whatever starts with one brick at a time, and you got to just keep laying the bricks. And I'm really big on that. Is that every text, every social media post, every podcast, every networking event. These are all opportunities to make a connection, and it might not be the first time. It might be me talking to somebody the third, fourth, fifth, sixth time, seventh time, 2 years down the road, where they finally say, "Hey, actually, my mom's looking to buy a home," or "Hey, my brother's looking to buy," or I think we're looking to sell. Like, that's the good stuff. Those are the ones that you want, and ultimately you're working towards. Now, for you. You talked about obviously doing some work, but like what so far? What have you done, and do you think in regards to getting new business or laying those bricks? I talk about kind of what I've done. In regards to networking, social media, just meeting people out and about, and I mean, to me too. Like, I had a closing this morning, actually 2 hours ago, and I'm gonna get a picture with my clients, with a sold sign that I now can leverage for future. So I'm always looking for, opportunities to leverage situations. Kind of when we were at the chamber event the other day, and we got a picture with a big group of people. I'm always looking for how can we get pieces of content that we can put out, and we're always looking for ways to promote, and not just myself, but promote other local businesses. I'm very big on what I call leveraging, cross-promoting, meaning promote you, tag our, our mutual friends that we have within the young business professional space that we try to promote also for their businesses. So what have you done that you think has been so far the biggest growth in your business? I know it's very early, but what can you think that you've attributed so far as your best, I guess, what have you best done in the last 5 months?
I'm definitely going to all the networking events, including ADKIP and Galen's dying. ADKIP chamber events. I actually have a client that I'm working with who I met through ADKIP. Before I was even a realtor, just kind of became friends, and I think that meeting people in person, obviously cold calling is important. I get a lot of leads because your dad sends me Tammy's leads too, because she asked him to, and you send me a lot of leads, so I'm calling probably about 6 people a night, just cold calling for the most part, because usually they don't answer the phone. But in person, meeting people in person, I think has been the most important thing, because now I see people and they're like, oh yeah, like I remember you, and that's the first step.
Yeah,
being remembered.
That and like I said, you're active on social media, which is good. I mean, the same thing when you talk about calling people, like, I've gotten to the point now in 9 years, it's tough for me to call people because I have enough people that I'm dealing with now, which is good because that's what I ultimately want, because I want you to now get that overflow of business because that's going to help you grow. But 8-9 years ago, I mean, I still to this day call people. I was calling people this morning, and those are people that have reached out or, asked for information on a home or and sometimes you call them and they just say, hey, not interested, and that's fine. And I know it's a numbers game, and that majority of those people that I'm going to call are going to be no good. But I mean, I built my business on that, when I started. And to be honest, I have a lot of clients that I've started out that way and are still good clients or have referred me to people, or and I'm always going to do that because I think that's still a portion of the business should come from that. I'm just trying to get more towards the referral side, which takes time to build and takes time to get trust and get to the listing side. And I don't know if I'll do it this year, but every year I'm getting closer, and I think this year I might be 40% listings, 60% buyers, which, I mean, I'll take that. As a 29-year-old, most people that list a lot of homes are older.
Yeah.
So the fact that I'm almost 50-50 in my career with selling and buying before I'm 30 will be, to me, a huge milestone, because it's very rarely, because most of my peers don't homes to sell yet. They're buying their first home, I'm hoping that, between 35 and 40, that number's 70-30, 80-30 of listings, but that takes time, and it's kind of cool when you're starting to see all these little efforts snowball effect I talk about, is that we're I'm getting to the point now where I can see I can see it. You know what I mean? I can see what I've been able to build over the last almost or close to a decade. And for you, it's fun because right now it's kind of like, shoot, like it's tough. And I talked to other agents that are newer, and everybody has the same they get negative or they have negative thoughts about, I'm not good at this, and it's like, you know what, you are
just starting out.
Yeah, you're the same as everybody else. Like don't expect too much. Be realistic with yourself, but just keep grinding. And it is a phenomenal industry. You can have a lot of fun and meet a lot of cool people, but you just got to stay the course and really work at it. So that is, I'm having a hard. I went into a house the other day. I think I had some mold in it, and I think I'm really struggling with this mold. I find that maybe I'm just like miniature kind of sick too with the changing weather, but I'm having a hard time breathing. But it's okay.
Oh,
like not a bad thing. Just like I feel like I'm like wheezing or like having a deep.
Do you have asthma?
I have bad allergies. I might need it actually, but I've never actually taken an inhaler in my life. I always have bad allergies. I might, but we'll see. I'll probably power through it. Part of me, I just think I got a cough, but it'll come out. So sorry, folks, if you hear me sounding like a winded person going up the stairs, but that's what I feel like. So that's good. Do you have any expectations going through the end of the year?
I think it's gonna get easier and easier. I've definitely noticed I tend to second guess myself a lot. I constantly have the imposter syndrome, and I have with every job I've ever had. And I realized the other day, and say it all the time to John. He says, "No, you can tell that you know what you're talking about." It's like, well, you just think that because you don't know anything about real estate. So it sounds like I do, but now I'll have people ask me questions, and instead of my mind going blank with panic of, oh, I don't know, I'll like just rattle off an answer. I'm like, oh, I did know that. And just kind of, it's nice realizing that I know more than I think I know, and I'm sure that's just going to continue to get easier too.
Yeah, every day, like, again, to put it in perspective, when I first started, I think my default answer was, I don't know, let me check and I'll get back to you. And I was always a big proponent of don't say something unless you knew it to be fact. And I still do that today.
Absolutely.
I'll be like, actually, I'll give you two examples. This just within the last 4 days, so since Friday. First one was asking about a variance for property. It doesn't happen very often. And actually, I'll give you three that have happened in the last 2 months. One, an offer came in, it had to deal with a trust, meaning money was coming from a bank, and they had this trust fund. Money was coming out of the trust, you need to have bank or court approval. I've never done this in 8 years. So I asked the agent, I said, I don't think has been in as long as I have, but same thing, I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing here. Like, hopefully you know, or if not, just, I might ask you a lot of questions on this because I don't know what I'm doing. I know obviously how to close it, but there's certain factors of the deal I didn't know. So it's like, instead of me rattling off stuff and bullshitting my way through a deal, which is I'm never going to do, it's like, hey, I don't know it. I don't have a big ego. I have a very little ego. So to me, it's like, I don't know. Let me look it up. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I had one the other day about a variance. They asked about a variance. I very rarely need to get a variance. I know what a variance is, but I contacted the town where the house is located and asked them some questions that I didn't know. And then I had one today talking about exemptions. There's tax exemptions with veterans and senior star, and he said, "What will the taxes change to?" I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna. I think it would be this roughly, but I'm gonna check because I don't want to give you false information. And then you're going off you're planning on payments, and you go either make an offer or don't make an offer based off of what I say that's not fact checked yet. So, there's 3 things in the last 2 months either I didn't know or I had to say, hey, I don't know. Let me look up some answers for you. So. Always, and I had this problem a year or 2 ago with a newer agent, and they screwed up in my eyes on the deal, and part of it was because I don't think were asking the correct questions, and they were saying yes to everything, and that deal just ended up being a bad deal. It closed, but it was not a comfortable deal for my seller, but at the end of the day, like I said, I think it came from a new agent not willing to either tell the client that they're wrong, or if they don't know, to talk to their broker. So stuff like that happens, unfortunately, but you gotta, my biggest thing is in real estate, I don't care if I have an agent that's working with me. If you don't know something, tell me you don't know something, because I'll help you out. Same thing, if I don't know something, I lean on agents all the time on stuff. If I don't know it, and I think they do. Tammy, before she worked here, I called her on everything that had to do with foreclosures. I had no clue how to do them. I still kind of don't know how to do them. I know probably 80%, but when it gets to all the fine details, I don't know that last 20%. So I'll call her up. Now it's easy because she works here, but before she even when she wasn't working here, I'd just call her up on deals and say, hey, how does this work? And she was more than helpful on that. So most agents are willing to help people out. It's a very weird industry because a lot of us work at different companies, but at the end of the day, we're all co-workers because you have to work with each other in order to get deals done. So again, we talked about earlier in the show, I have a lot of agents that I'm I wouldn't say friends in the sense that we hang out on the weekends, but friends in the sense that if I see them out, we're hanging out, or I can go to an event and sit down and chit chat and have a beer with them, and or go to a networking event and talk to them, and I like that aspect. Even a couple agents texting me today about Gina, and that's kind of cool. And that a lot of us know what each other's families are doing and stuff. So I think it's just kind of a fun industry in that regard.